Everyone, videos I put you back again for how to play. Today we're looking at how to play the game Divicity by Phil Burrows and Tiazao. Interesting name. I believe actually I saw the name of that creator. I think that is actually this Paulo Oliveira, which has done another game that I have to look at. It's put out by Gruck Games in Brazil and Kovo de Zogas, which is a popular Brazilian channel about board gaming. And I guess they partnered up. This is kind of basically specifically made for this channel. Plays 3 to 6 players or jogadores in 30 minutes, and ages 14 and up. It's obviously in Brazilian, and I obviously know Portuguese, so I can read it for the most part. But I did get the rules in English because I'm not that. Um, Portuguese is not my strong suit, but I can speak it, I can understand it, I can read it. I don't know everything though. Anyways, it's a trick-taking game. It's all about diversity, and actually, this channel is from a city there called, I don't know if I have the name on here. Actually, it says here they actually have a convention called Covocon, which is in Divinopolis. I've never heard of that city in Brazil, but Divinopolis. So that's where Divicity comes from Divinopolis. And yes, they have a Covocon convention. I'll put a link in the description to their channel. And in it, you get a bunch of chips here. And you get cards, a big deck of cards. It's a poker deck with some additions. You got the 4 suits. You got like paws and Vikings, meeples, and beers. You gotta have the beers, right? And then you got it's ace through king, but you have 2 aces, 2 jacks, 2 queens, and 2 tens. 2 jacks, 2 queens, and 2 kings, and 2 aces in each suit. You'll see if I were to show you, there is a jack of the paws, and then there is going to be another jack of the paws. So you get 2 kings, and they're different artwork and everything, so that's cool. Yeah, it's a trick-taking game, so you would shuffle up the cards. The quality on the cards isn't the greatest. The box is way too big for what it is. I could fit this all in half a box. I'm just saying. Make card games or board games small again. Make them the right size. Stop making them oversized. I guess it's just a one-size-fits-all solution, but it's way too big. So you got the cards. There's also a couple of jokers or wild cards, which we can throw in there as well. And you got these chips, like nice big chips. They're just cardboard. And every time you win a trick, you're going to collect one of these, and the person who loses will also collect one of these. If you're doing 5 players, you're also going to gift one to another player. You're going to have 2 out there for each trick. And if you're doing 5 players, you're going to have 3. And this game plays 3 to 5, I believe it said. Or was it 3 to 6? 3 to 6, actually. So 5 or 6 players, you're going to have 3 out there. You're going to have 2 for 3 or 4 players, basically. Let's go over what these are. There's 30 of these scoring tokens, and they score in different ways. I should mention as well, the aces are actually referred to as Vilex. I'm guessing that's in reference to the dog that is on it, which is probably their dog / mascot. This guy right here, Lex, is on the box. And there's a special rule involving the aces as well, the Lex, and that is at the end of the game, if you have 3, you'll get 50 points, 50 bonus points. And if you have 4 of the Lexes or the aces, you win the game immediately. Outside of that, to win the game, it is see if I can find that. You just simply want to have the most points, and you're going to play a certain number of rounds. I guess it's just one game. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. But I guess you can play multiple games if you want. So let's talk about these tokens, though, before I forget. First of all, you got the milk. And the milk will give you negative points. You get -5 if you have 1, -25 if you have 2, and -50 if you have all 3. So you want to kind of avoid those. You have, I missed it somewhere. You can see it all in there. The duck. Duck, goose. This one will just simply give you -50 points if you get it, so nah, don't want it. Then you got the pork rinds. These ones will give you 10 points each if you have them. And then you got the beer. These will give you 5 points each. If you have a combination of, if you have both of these together, you get 30 points. So, both are good. They're better together, right? Am I right? I wouldn't know. I haven't really had pork rinds before, so I can't really comment. I'm not a big beer drinker, so there is that. But you got those. You got some that are just simply plus or minus points. There's more minus, I think, than there are positives. And then you go into these special ones. I'll put all these away. That's these 3. This first one is an exchange. So if you get this one, you have to choose one of the tokens that you have and exchange it for a token from another player. If there's no tokens available to exchange, you just keep this and it's worth 5 points. Same with these ones. If you can't do the action, you just keep them and get 5 points. Otherwise, you use them and you discard them. And the whole idea is, let's say, you know, I had this -10 and I don't want it. I can exchange this with another player and they have to give me one back. It might not be a great one. I believe it doesn't say if you get to choose or not. You just exchange. But then there's this one, which is donate. And this one, I have to donate one of my tokens to another player. So if I have the -20, hey, here you go. You can have that one. I don't want it. But just keep in mind, they might give it right back to you if they get a donate as well. And again, if you don't have any other tokens to donate, this is the first one you get. You just keep it for 5 points. And this one, which has one of the creators' faces on it, in a bunny suit, is a random steal. And this one, you just randomly choose a player, turn all the tokens face down, shuffle them up, and take one of them. So that's what that one does. So this one is you swap with another player. This one is you gift one, and this one you get to steal one. All right, so I'll put those in there, and we'll play that. Now, there is a variant you can do with the wild cards, the jokers, where if you play a joker, you have to shout out, "I'm immune," and you stand up from the chair, proudly doing that. And then during this trick, you cannot receive any tokens or be targeted by special tokens. That's a variant. You don't have to do it. I believe and the way you're going to do it is it's 54 cards. I think technically it's more than 54. I don't know if it's just that the extra queens, jacks, queens, kings, and aces are not supposed to be used in the game. It doesn't specify that. So I'm just going with it. And so you're going to give each player a certain number of cards, 15 cards each for 3 players, 13 for 4 players, 10 cards each for 5 players, and 9 cards each for 6 players. And so we'll each get some cards. A professional would have already done this before. These tokens are going to be off to the side, face down. Whoever is the start player is going to choose 2, put them face down in the middle of the table. And it's 2 tokens for 3 or 4 players, 3 if you're doing 5 or 6. And like I mentioned, the person who wins the trick is going to get one of these. The person who loses also gets one. And if you're doing 5 or 6 players. The third one, the person who wins randomly just gifts it to another player. And I believe they say the start player is whoever. I think it's like whoever most recently. I got these rules all mixed up. I do believe. Um, not really. Whatever. You can just randomly choose who to be a start player. I think they just jokingly say it's whoever most recently, ate something or drank something. Whoever most recently ate pork rinds starts the game. But you just do whatever you want. So you deal out the cards. You put out those chips, the tokens. Now, whoever is the start player, before playing the card, can look at one of these two. So if I'm the start player, I can look and, okay, that's an exchange one. It's fine. Doesn't do me much good right now. Then I get to lead a card. It is must follow. So I'm going to lead the queen, or the meeples. And this player is going to have to play. They're going to have to follow suit. So maybe they play this 5. And this player is going to go. They will play Jack, the 4. And yes, you're going to have some cards that are out of the game, so you're not going to have perfect information. And this guy's going to go, and he decides to play the king. Now, he saw that I wasn't too impressed with this one, so he's going to take this one, which happens to be a mirror, and he's going to put that face up in front of me. I get this one, which says I get to exchange with another player. Now, I don't have anything to exchange, so I'm going to keep this for 5 points, unfortunately. Is the way that's going to work. Because I don't have any other tokens to exchange with them. Otherwise, if I had a token already, we would exchange, and then I would discard this. Then he won the trick. He gets to lead the next one. I just keep going around the table. We're going to bring out 2 more, obviously. He won the trick, so he's going to get to look at one, whatever that is. It was, for the record. Oh, he really wants that one. He wants that one because it's going to give him 30 points with that beer. And he might get excited about that and play. He's going to play a queen. Even though he knows that can be beat by the king, but it's possible the queens are in here. Lo and behold, they're not. So I'm going to play. I can't win this, so I'm just going to play this free. This guy looks at his hand. He doesn't have any of that suit, so he's just going to play a 6 of a different suit. It's going to be the highest card of the suit that was led that wins. There's no trump. And this guy plays his only card, which is a king. Now, he saw him kind of get excited about that one, so he's going to take that one. And then whoever played the lowest card, that was me. Did I do that correctly? He won the trick. I got this because I played the lowest card, right? I think. No, I didn't play the lowest card. Who played the lowest card? I think it was this guy. Whatever. I took it by mistake. In this case, I did get the lowest card. Actually, technically, he went off suit, so he played the lowest card. So he's going to get this one. Ooh, -5. Wah, wah. So you get the idea. Highest card, just to take one of those chips, the tokens. They get to lead the trick. They get to peek at one. And then they get to, if they win the trick, they get to take one. And then whoever played the lowest card gets to take the other. Keep going around the table doing this until you played out all your cards. Bring out more chips or tokens. Whoever won the trick gets to look at one. Ooh, that's a milk. Yuck. You don't want that sour milk. And you keep going around the table doing this. It's a pretty cool game. I do wish the card. I mean, these are nice quality. I like that. The cards, just a kind of a cheap plastic coated finish. They're thick, which is fine, but they're not the best quality. The artwork is fine. Again, I wish there was some clarification on why there's extra queens and kings. It says 54 cards. That's not 54 cards. That's like 60 cards or something like that. Also, they don't really clarify what happens with the wild cards, if I recall. I should mention as well, if you're doing 5 or 6 players and you're donating a token, you cannot donate to yourself. You cannot donate to the other player who received the token. You have to donate to one of the other players that did not get a token. Just to clarify. It doesn't really specify. I think the jokers just count as the lowest card as a 0, and they don't have a suit. That's what I'm going with. One more thing to point out, and that is, let's say again, it was this guy that led. Let's say he plays. Let me see what's a good one. This guy has lots of orange. Let's say he plays. This guy plays a jack in orange, and I play whatever, and this guy plays an ace or a Lex, and then this guy plays, the king. Whoever wins a trick that has the ace, the Lex card, will put this in front of them for the end of the game. Because remember, and then of course they would get this, or they would choose one of these. Maybe they choose this one, and this player would get this one, and then you bring out some more. But anyways, at the end of the game, if a person has 3 Lexes, 3 aces, this guy has 1 already, they get 30 bonus points. And if you happen to get 4, you just win the game outright. So that's another factor in this game, is you want to be careful of when you're playing those aces if you can, to try to prevent somebody from winning 3 or 4 and perhaps winning the game outright. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So the whole game is pretty cool. It's an interesting concept. The artwork is fun and everything. The tokens are nice. The cards could be a little bit better. The box could be smaller. But it's not a bad game. I do think that some rule clarifications should be done. But aside from that, I like it. It's a little harder to find. I got this from Portland Game Collective. I'll put a link in the description. And I appreciate and thank them for selling these harder to find international titles to a North American audience and bringing that to that audience. So I do appreciate that. So that is that. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. We'll see you next time for more. Thanks for watching.